Right, I finally got to it. Some of you will be very excited, right? Gunslinger Spawn. Yeah. People are saying, Pops, you're this child of the 80s, 90s comic books. You're not up to date on Spawn. I'm telling you, it's so good. So I've started with one of them. I know there's Scorched and King Spawn. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. So this is my review of the first 3 issues of Gunslinger Spawn. And I will say Todd McFarlane and Brian Booth are doing a great job. Brian Booth's art is really what carries a lot of this for me. So if you're really into 90s art, you're going to love this. If you love early Spawn, maybe you love McFarlane Spider-Man, I think you're going to like this as well. But let me break this down for you. Let me give you a perspective on some of the pros and cons, like the good versus great. Does it get to great status or not, basically, right? So okay, so there's a little bit of a backstory that I don't get in Spawn Universe #1, where the different spawns, because of our Spawn, the Al Williams Spawn, they're sucked through a void into our time. So here's Gunslinger Spawn. This is the main Brett Booth cover. Here's a McFarlane variant. There are a couple other expensive variants, by the way. So if you're really into this, or you like maybe sketch art, or you love like the white background ones where it highlights just the color, there are a couple of those that are definitely more like on an investment scale, so you can always look into those as well. But here's how we start with this character here on the left named Taylor, and Taylor just works at this gas station. Typical kid. He's on his phone, boss is leaving, not really paying attention. But I really wanted to show you a little bit here so we could kind of get a feel for the art. Brett Booth has really got that 90s feel. Look at the detail, obviously in the foreground and the background, like literally in the background on the building, you can see it says pizza. Like you literally can have elements of, this is Lost Dog sign. So compare that to other comic books of this era. That's something that's definitely been lost. So this is the so King Spawn, basically, he's in our time. He comes from 1864. He's being confronted with the real Spawn. Anyway, he has no time and patience for all of that, and he has his motorcycle, and he gets on the motorcycle, and obviously it runs. Well, we're gonna find out it runs out of gas, but here he's pushing it into town. Taylor's out partying with his friends, and you can see them doing their thing before he basically comes back home, and you see the light on the shop, and then he basically is there, and he's confronted by Gunslinger Spawn. So this is him, put your hands where I can see them, understand, boy. So very, very good, very cool. And then this is the antagonist. This is the bad guy scene, right? So we have basically Theus, Cyrus. They're in like a dinosaur museum, which I think is a great place. We do get to that in issue 3 on like why this would matter so much. But here we see in a dinosaur museum, to choose such a cool place where you get to showcase art, you get to showcase these cool details, and literally this is excruciatingly a beautiful piece. Talk about a piece of original art that would just be truly incredible to see. Really, really love this shot, love this panel, love the contrast with them here looking so small compared to these creatures around them. They're dark angels, by the way, for those who don't understand that, the evil Spawn demons versus angels storyline. And then ultimately, because they're plotting to get it, and Taylor's trying to help Spawn. They're hanging out together, whatever, and then basically Spawn is attacked. So he's attacked here by an angel. There's a big battle that comes to grips here with this angel, and you could see one coming right at him. And, you just can't kill an angel. It's not an easy thing to do. So he knows that he's got his work cut out for him. And Taylor's dad is somehow complicit in all this. We don't totally understand exactly what's going on here. And these angels are taking the boy away because he showed up when the dad was there talking with these angels. And of course, Gunslinger is attacking to defend Taylor, but also because they're there. And then it's like, let go of the boy. They're like, oh no, you just ended up in the wrong place. Well, okay, well, this is our backstory. So this is from the back. So this is how this kind of plays out. It's gonna set up Gunslinger versus the Angels. There's 3 or 4 backstories that they play up in little short stories, and I love the one that's like this. So you just get a history of Gunslinger Spawn in his time. There's like stuff has to do with the Bartlett family. There has to do with the weapons. So he has to use his own blood to poison or transfer his power onto these bullets, so it makes it more powerful for him to actually take down these things before we get to issue number 2. Look at the art on issue number 2. Talk about just something that's completely different and interesting, like to go to that level of what it could look like. Now, I'm not totally thrilled on the face with the translation, but I really, really loved the look of this, particularly the dead body in the foreground with the fly on the face and the smoldering green smoke from the open chest wound. It's just beautiful. In issue number 2, we get into the action. So basically, it's Spawn versus these angels. You know, he can shoot them in the head. He can do different things to them, and you're definitely getting all of this. And of course, Bartlett, which is the family, that's actually Taylor and his dad. They're connected to this thing that dates all the way back to Gunslinger Spawn's time, which probably will coincide with something that relates to the Void and how he got pulled through and why he's there. And then you get to I want to give you some samples of the art and why people are just going nuts for the Brian Booth art. And this is him basically threatening, because you got the one that's got the knife on the boy, and he's got the one angel down, and he pulls one wing off and says, okay, well, let me pull the other wing off. But look at the detail. You got blood pouring out everywhere. These little feathers have details. It's just really, really beautiful work. Beautiful work. I can see why people are gushing over the art and that kind of thing. And this just continues when he gets thrown down with another one. This one, he grabs both wings off. He's got her as a prisoner, so he's torturing her, trying to get information, and just completely goes unglued, pulls both off, and you can just follow like the blood splatter. It's just truly a tremendous panel. Again, and Taylor doesn't really know what to think about all this. Like, what on earth are you talking about? And then later, so after going through all that, Spawn is inside. Spawn's like, what's the deal with this toilet? So the issue number 2 concludes with like toilet joke, and quite literally like a toilet joke, like it's inside the house kind of joke. It was a little odd to end on that note, but it was fine. Here's number 3, different kind of cover, different kind of tone. And you get basically the bad guys. You're basically back at their museum, and they introduce this character. Her name is Dakota. She controls actual dinosaurs. So there's one on her lap, one behind her. And then, of course, Cyrus is mad about it, and Theus thinks you're crazy. They're like, no, we have to get to Gunslinger Spawn. We kind of have to keep track of all the other ones that have come through this void, whether it be the She Spawn or whether it be Al or whatever the case may be. And I wanted to use this one because look at the way he handled the art of them going around. So Taylor basically creates like a bug out bag for Gunslinger. And I just thought the beautiful dynamics of motion in this, and that light, the way that he did the light on the headlight on that motorcycle, I just thought to myself, just beautiful, just great detail. Brian Booth really is delivering on these books. And then this is the shot where Taylor's trying to give him some food in order to eat. And when he starts to eat, you can see his mask and stuff coming away here. And actually, there's a line about it. It actually startles Taylor, like he doesn't know what to think about it. And we get our look of who he's kind of looks like. Gives him some glasses to wear. But then we cut back near the end, and you see him just ready to throw down again, being confronted. It's a big battle. Dakota's there now, and she sicks her 2 of her dinosaurs on him. And the fight's pretty intense. It really do kind of best him in a lot of ways before he comes with some ideas of how to try to figure out how to get out of it. But even when he does, there's big twists and violence and stuff. And then, of course, you see at the very bottom, who's really in all of this? Oh, crap. It's the clown. That's right. The clown is back. So until it becomes a streaming parade of insanity, he's mine now. And you have the clown, you have Violators in the back. Another just incredible, beautiful piece. So that's how the first 3 issues sort of end. All right. So what's the take home? The take home is it's a fun ride. It's sluggish at part, especially issue number 2. There's great fight scenes, and the action sequences are fun, and not a lot of story. We don't really have a whole lot of information as far as like what's really going on. It's like this group is after him. He's trying to get somewhere. Taylor and the Bartletts are caught up in the middle of it. And now we have the clown and the Violator. So is it a great? No, it's not great. It's fun and it's good. It's very 90s feel. It's got definitely a classic Spawn feel to it and nothing else. Brian Booth's art, Oh my gosh, it takes you back. It takes you back to the glory days of when many of us were into comics, and I can see why people what really love this series. So I'm all in to continue to read a few more issues. I'm not sure where I'll draw my lines to do videos with you guys on, because I don't want to do an issue by issue thing. I think it's just too much for something that's been out for so long. Because it started back in 2001, so I'm only basically between the end of 2001 to the beginning of this year. So I'm way behind. I think we're on issue. I know I have like the first 9 or 10 issues. I don't know if I have much after that yet. I haven't got all of them, but I know I have the first 9 for sure. And that's kind of where I'll read. I'll probably read next, do 3 more and that kind of thing. So anyway, tell me what you guys think. We got to give a shout out to Wakazashi's Tea House. He is hardcore into this, reading them in real time, giving you reviews in real time. His link there'll be a little hat tip for him in the description, because he deserves that kudos for getting me there. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. I'm Pops. I appreciate you watching. Take care.